couple opportunities. There are a couple big plays early, the pick six. So they made more big plays than we did. The game stats are kind of close, but big play wise, they had a few big plays, kind of played uphill the whole game. Thought our kids played hard, hung in there, tried, but we fell behind. They started off with a good start. Good win for those guys. We got to do better.
What happened to your quarterback?
I got landed on. He tackled his left shoulder and some degree of a separation that we'll eval when we get back. So I don't know if it's short, long, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever. Non-throwing arm, no, so it just took a hit, fell down, impact. I think just kind of fell on it. And, nothing broken. Be an X-ray. We'll do some stuff tomorrow, but it's shoulder separation.
Any thought to playing Diamond at any point today?
Not yet. Just not ready.
What about Nate?
But moving forward, we'll see what Nate's timeline is, and if Nate's going to be more than a week or two, we'll definitely then consider at the end, like, hey, if you put him in for that drive at the end of the game, and then next week Nate's playing, if that's all Xander plays, he blew a year. So we're not sure exactly how severe the timeline is. We get a feel for that. If the timeline is going to be a little long, 3, 4, 5 weeks, then we'll probably working Xander not only as the 2, but probably as the 2 that we need to get out there playing. And if it's short term for Nate, he'll still have the same role he's been doing, but maybe we'll be able to get the red shirt. We'll just play that by ear.
How much did that limit your offense when he went down compared to what you normally?
Well, it limited some of the things being throwing, but opened up some things because of what he does in the run game. So some of those runs work. So it was just trying to figure out. And as we go, it's kind of tough because both those guys are a little different. He's very young compared to Nate. So as you practice, there's just certain plays like, that's not a play we're going to do with him. And you don't really want. It's very difficult. You don't want to practice a completely different technical offense for a backup quarterback, because your right guard's getting those plays. And if the right guard's got to play with the starting quarterback, well, he don't get those plays. So it's kind of, you try to blend as much as you can together. But it was a little drawn up in the dirt, and hey, it's a little different now, a little bit more involved, a little bit more quarterback run throw. He can throw it well, and we got to get him comfortable in the pocket, but he's got a live arm. And again, but as he plays, it's just vision and communication. And again, we're very excited about him. We think he'll be a good player for us. And yeah, it's nice to be on the road. First one kind of hard hearing. And a couple calls he messed up a little and didn't call it properly. We didn't, communicate our assignments properly and looked kind of bad. But as the game went along, it was a good experience. And outside maybe one errant throw I didn't like, he was okay. We'll keep building him. He's a good young player.
Woodrow not an option?
He's okay, but he's just not as talented as the other guy. I mean, just he's solid, steady. But he's going to be a guy sitting in the pocket. When you play these guys as good as they're on defense, the ball's got to get outside or down the field somehow. If you want to play in the box now, you're going to get if you play it in the size of this room, you're not going to get a lot. So you got to get the ball on the perimeter. And so sometimes that quarterback run deal, he's a little bit more like Nate, who throws it well, not as well, and he's done nothing wrong. And he's one of our guys. Right now, Chris Covington's hands down the best and handled it pretty good today. We scored 3 touchdowns with him in there, I think, right? And so it was 7 when we went down, I believe. Or did he score them all?
Tevin didn't come back after his last touchdown run. Is he okay?
Yeah.
It was obviously a game of big plays, but you just talked about Shane's drop in the end zone and almost how that changed the game.
A little bit, and we got the onside kick opportunity when we had it kind of rolling a little bit. I mean, again, when there was an opportunity to make a play, those guys made it. They hit us on a big post route, a couple of them. They had some nice conversions to keep some things alive. We didn't. Bottom line, they made a lot more plays than we did, whether it be Shane's drop, whether it be the onside kick. We just had, we had a chance to make some plays and didn't. And the stats, the numbers are close as far as total yards, but as far as look at plays being made, they made significant more plays than us, and that's the difference of scoring, and that's the difference in the game, Chair.
Coach, what did you make of the other players, their reaction when Sethville went down? Did they kind of rally around Covington? What was the reaction there?
I don't know if really. I know some guys got around Chris a little bit when he was coming in. I mean, Nate was over at the doctors and was in a little bit of pain, and their place over there is pretty tight on the sideline, so it's not like you got a lot of room. You kind of kind of stuck in those spaces, so it wasn't a big deal. We just saw Nate in the locker room and visited with him. The guys are, and he's not down by any means. Matter of fact, he went over to talk to Chris, try to be a good teammate and lift him up. So I think the guys rally behind Chris, and they will. I think a lot of those guys like him, though he's a good player, and he'll give us a good shot in the weeks to come.
Anybody else hurt besides Roundtree?
No, and Zeke tore a Achilles in practice the other day, so he'll be, that's a 6-month surgical deal, and that'll kind of end his deal. He did Wednesday, at the end of practice Wednesday, so he got an Achilles tear.
Did Iowa do anything offensively that surprised you defensively?
Not really. I mean, they kind of do what they do. If you're blitzing one way, they're going to check and run away from it. If you play soft coverage, they're going to run their quick game hitches, and they're always going to play action, find some degree of double moves or post or shot down the field, move the pockets. Did a good job on third down, got us on the quarterback draw and scoring zone like they do. So, I mean, they had a couple different personnel things where they had a tight end that was playing as a wide receiver today a couple times. It wasn't nothing major, but the core of what they did has been consistent with what you've seen all year. They executed very well.
Is it hard to prepare for the rotational quarterbacks?
I don't think, because it doesn't change a whole lot. I guess the one they did run a speed option with the one kid a couple times, but it's not like it becomes like our thing's a little different when it goes from Nate to Covington with the amount of quarterback run or lack thereof. They kind of stay the same in what they do, so they're lucky to have two good players.
Coach, I apologize if this was asked, but the play at the end of the first half when they scored on fourth down, you felt that was a big momentum play as far as you trying to catch it?
If you go and look, again, we're playing uphill because of the start of the game. They score, we give them a pick six, we're kind of behind. But as you weather the storm and got back into it, the onside opportunity we didn't get, the drop pass opportunity, and you got a chance to make a stop on fourth down, and we didn't. And matter of fact, and they took a timeout to see. We then took a time to see what formation they were in. Okay, you see it, let's do our best. But again, they blocked it, stuck it in there, and it's 7 points. Because you make that play, there's 7 out on the board for life.
With every passing
One more, guys.
With every passing week, Tevin Coleman gets more and more national attention. Talk about what he brings to the program, short-term, long-term, the impact he's making.
He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a great kid. His practice habits are awesome. As a freshman, I compared him to a kid at Oklahoma that was a great practice player, how hard he worked. He's always been that way. That's why he's not in at the end. He goes so hard that when he's gassed, because he doesn't save. And he knows that D'Angelo's going to go hard, and they kind of feed off each other, so it's kind of a good deal. So there's not he's a great teammate, he's a great worker. I think we've played on, statistically, the toughest Big Ten schedule to date on paper, have we not? The prognosticators I read say we have the 10th best offensive line, so he's playing all these good teams with no blocking, so he must be like the greatest player ever. So I don't know how he does it. But you guys can write those articles, because we're going to keep giving him the ball and playing well. We'll start doing our things, but he's not going to get All-American attention or anything because we do a postcard. But for you guys not to think he's not a good player, he's really good, and he does it and the reason he's really good is he plays just really good on a consistent basis. It ain't like once in a while. He does nothing like great. Other than just, man, he brings it in practice. We have to watch his reps in practice because he's going to practice hard. He's a great standard. One of the first players we've had a couple, but one of the first guys in practice that you can look at a young player and say, just watch that and carry that into your practice habits. And he carries it into his game habits. And again, he was pretty good last year. That injury kind of whacked him out. He's pretty good now. Like I say, I was a really good run defense. And we didn't come in trying to set up, we don't go in trying to, quote, keep his stats alive. But we want to try to balance what we do. We got to throw it better. We didn't throw it very well today. So again, we're not trying to, we're trying to win. But a big part of us winning is him making plays, and he's a tremendous player. He's really good. And you guys are lucky if you cover us to see him. He's good. And what's really good about him is he's got a great family. He's a good kid. So it ain't just like, some guy with talent. Some guy going through the motions that got blessed. He's worked hard. He's been through a lot of things. He's phenomenal. He's been our student of the month for the whole athletic department academically. He does a lot of neat things. He's a great kid. He's a hell of a football player.